would be kind of neat because actually from his grave you can see the new B. McDaniel School, which is really kind of a neat parallel there. Right next to that is the Tobin Monument to talk about the founding of Denison. And then from there you would go to W.B. Munson, obviously talking a little more about the founding. Stop 5 on the way down as we came would be the Haynes Garner Monument. That was one of the victims of the Night of Terror. And so we were looking at having her father, because her father is right next to her, speak and kind of just explain what that was and talk about Hattie. Then we have Donald Mays. We thought he would be really neat to include and kind of get us that 1950s era. We put Mays Wilson, the family that lives in the very first home that he ever designed, it's the Wilson home, but they're not the Wilsons. They're buried out at Fairview as well, and the people that live in the house thought it would be fun if they were with Mays and actually brought copies of their house plans to kind of show him designing it. And then Hartley Edwards would be the last one, and he's right there by the chapel, so it's kind of a good ending right there. And that way it kind of talks about our veterans and different styles of monuments as we go. We would be changing this every year if this first year is a success, to include different people. Clara Blackford Smith, if I didn't say that, Chris would be so mad at me. So she would definitely be on a future tour. As well as if you look over here on block 40, over here on the Maple Grove kind of side, that's historically our African-American burial ground. So that way we can tell their stories as well. It's just the way the cemetery is laid out, it would be over a mile walk for some people, and that's really long. So we thought we'll do this smaller one, then we'll start doing different areas as we go so that you would walk to that area and back. And we would find people as we went. I'm trying to think, the people that we're looking at for sponsorships wouldn't be people that would normally sponsor events, so it shouldn't cause any conflicts, because usually people that sponsor these are like funeral homes, because no one ever wants to see the Christmas parade sponsored by so-and-so funeral home. It's not as exciting, but this is literally what they do. So that florists are another big one that usually help sponsor these type of events. So that's kind of who we would be looking at, not anyone that would compete with what the city's already doing with their sponsorship packages. Kind of some feedback. This is the first year. It's kind of a fundraiser for the Railroad Museum, but I also feel like it's really important for us to give back to the cemetery as well, to be put into like a restricted fund or a fund that can be used for either repairs, tree removal, whatever is needed to be done, like a capital project kind of thing. We had talked, when I first talked to staff, I don't know what a good percentage is, if it's 20%, 30%, since this is our first year, and then increase the Fairview portion after that, just because I want to make it worth the Railroad Museum's while, so that since they're the ones that are going to be helping do all of the putting together and the labor of it. So I kind of wanted to ask y'all what you thought, or if you had a desire for anything, and get any feedback or any thoughts. I know that
participation from staff, or
there won't have to be any participation from staff. They're going to participate before, like helping us put out some cones and that kind of thing, but not that day. That way we're not using any overtime. If we did, I would imagine that would come out of the funds that are raised or anything like that, so that the city wouldn't do that. All of the insurance will be under the Railroad Museum. They're going to go through the special event process, so nothing like that. The city would be a co-signer. Or a secondary named, whatever that. Certificate holder. There we go.
Is there a fee or is this donation?
It would be a fee. Right now we're looking at about $20 per person. I don't know. We're trying to do the math still, so that's still up in the air. It would be 20 or less. It would not be more than $20 per person.
And maybe a special fee for a family?
We could do something like that. Or like with the, when we do the home and loft tour, usually we say any kiddos, they're free.
Oh, okay.
We don't charge them. And we would have restrooms available open at the chapel. That's why this too is Fairview is kind of the first one we're trying out, because there aren't any restrooms at Oakwood if people wanted to do that. So if anyone asked, that's why we really picked Fairview over any of the others. But hopefully we could do those at a later date. We do talk about the history of them as well in the docent packet, so that everyone kind of knows that it's not just Fairview the city maintains. We maintain a lot more than most cities maintain. Usually most just have one. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. This would be, if it rained, there would not be any rain check, any kind of thing like that. It's just we either have it or we don't. There's no refund. It's how we do
Rain
the.
or shine, huh?
Yeah, but if it's like bad, then we just won't have it. But it's not like we have to reschedule. We're not going to do a later date. We do that with the home and loft tour as well. First off, it's way too hard on staff to either have to move or block off a weekend for us to do this. And second, it's too much on all of the volunteers to say, well, you might have to wait another weekend. So we will just check the weather as we go, and everyone will know their ticket is at the risk of weather. If it is, it just is. Advertising, we would do social media. We would do flyers around town. Usually the news, we can usually count on them to do a segment, that kind of thing. Some cemeteries put out a big banner. If I was to even try something like that, I would put it out on the 84 corner. That way it's nowhere near the cemetery, because just some people are still having funerals, so I don't really want there to be a banner. That's not what I would want to see if I was taking a loved one there. But we've already kind of been getting interest from different groups, different history groups that even I've presented at, that are always asking, is there going to be a cemetery tour? We want to know more, that kind of thing. The good thing is it helps promote the cemetery in both what it is, what its history is, and it gets all the eyes on the cemetery, which is always a good thing to help keep it safe and secure, and that support of the cemetery is what keeps it around longer. It's what keeps that funding needed.
So the funding would be fenced for cemetery use only, not in the general fund?
It could be restricted.
Here, here.
Are there any questions or what do y'all think? Did 30% sound okay for this first year, or?
Whatever, I mean, if the Red River Railroad Museum is gonna do a lot of the work, and they're the ones sponsoring it, I guess I would,
You think that would?
they're good people.
Okay. And then I think that percentage would grow. I mean, especially since once we get this first year out of the way, it won't be as much work to put it together again. So I think we can.
I don't know.
Everyone will be
If you change
volunteers.
cemeteries, or if you change spots like the GAR monument, I would hope sometime in the future.
See, and it would be a great one too. It's just, but when we started looking at it, it's so
It's a long,
far.
far away.
And if it's as hot as it is right now, Lord. But most of the places do have shade, so there will be, the presentations would be underneath shade trees. We'll have water out there, all kinds of stuff like that.
Well, we won't run out of people anyway.
We won't run out of people, that's for sure. There's always going to be fun stories. And I know we had talked about it would be nice to have the roads done before and everything, but I think this could lead to that awareness of getting those kind of things done later.
Jump ahead of me, Brian.
Oh, am I? Okay, sorry.
No, but Victor, I mean, we've got dead trees out there, and I'm hoping that we can get the dead trees down before October. Anyway, whatever needs to be done, funds, whatever.
I think anything that can't be done, it's always a good opportunity for us to explain what we're hoping to use some of these funds for. That way people see a difference maybe between this year and next year. So I think some of it, if it is there, I think it's okay for us, because we can discuss that, As you can see, trees die, or that's the importance of the clean sweep, because those little trees start growing up through those irises, and then the next thing you know, they're a huge tree and it's dead, and it's
Well,
risking the
we want it
monuments.
to
But
look as nice as we can.
yes,
We're opening it up.
and so
That's
talking.
my point.
No, and I think we'll have some neat ideas. Like there's some different monuments we want to point out that have little planter beds. And so what I talked with the Railroad Museum of, maybe we'll buy mums and you can leave them in their pots and make them look like they're planted in that. That way it'll look really pretty for the tour and everything, but they won't have to be upkept or be planted physically, because that just makes it harder on the grounds crews. So we're going to definitely do some things to kind of freshen it up at each spot, especially where the people are
We can get
going
the
to be.
dead tree down.
Any other questions?
Have you got all of your speakers?
Starting to. It's coming along. All the speakers will be volunteers. So we've already got some that are already chomping at the bit, and I'm confident we'll get everybody we need.
Are you
Though
gonna write all their scripts, or are you gonna let them write their own?
we've written them all out just in case, but they can have some liberties, yes. But
If he's one, I'm sure.
yeah, but our
I was just looking at the time, saying, ooh,
Yeah, I was
okay.
gonna say, Kurt's might be a little lengthy.
Yeah, we tried to make them about 5 minutes, but we haven't spoken them out yet. See, so some will be cut back, some will be whatever we need. No matter what, I think it'll be a really fun day. I think it's going to raise some awareness about our cemetery, and I think it's going to give a lot of people a great chance to appreciate it that otherwise might not have visited Fairview before.
Perhaps have the opportunity to lead into Wreaths Across America.
Yeah, we can include that. I have a pen. Yep. Because I like that, because that will be coming up not far after that. And then hopefully this becomes an annual event where we really get a great showing of people.
I'm pretty sure if you ask, if you need volunteers, American Legion 62 would be more than glad to help out.
Okay. And then the DAR as well, they're always great. Okay. Well, thank you all very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I saw only 5 minutes. My goodness, I could speak for an hour.
Now, we have any updates on regarding the fence project and the Pear Lane gate?
Yes, sir, we do. We had some inquiries in regarding Pear Lane. After hours, the gate closes manually. So the concern for some visitors were to come in the main gate when it's open. As long as there's daylight, the main gate would always be open. But the visitors would come down east on Pear Lane and would not be able to do a U-turn there at the gate. So,
And that's the farthest south
yes,
gate.
that is the first gate. If you're coming from Main Street or from City Hall, you're going there, it's the first gate on your left. And there you see it on the left picture there. So, funds were approved to have a mechanical arm open and close the gate during the same time of operation for the main gate, which is dusk till dawn. If there's daylight, the gate will be open. If it's dusk, the gate will close. So the mechanical arm went in that is solar operated with 2 batteries that last up to eight years. And as you can see in the picture here, the solar panel mounted to the fence on the right-hand side of the picture.
That puts
Okay.
That just makes it a black screen. That button.
Yes.
If you hit it again, you'll bring it back up.
So now we have 2 gates.
I didn't even realize this was a discussion point before. Oh, okay.
But until a visitor or two addressed the issue of them not being able to, number one, do a U-turn properly, or having to look back on their rear review mirror, driving backwards all the way up to the cul-de-sac where the
No,
trash can
I
is.
think it's terrific that you took the initiative and took care of this.
So we were able to put that topic concern to rest and have the mechanical arm placed. So now we have a total of 4 gates, 2 that are open and manually closed by staff, and 2 that are open electronically at 6:45 a.m. and they close at 8. So anybody else that is inside the cemetery past 8 o'clock, all they have to do is roll up to the main gate, and there's a sign that shows the arrow where to stop for the gate to automatically open and let you out.
And of course, that doesn't swing. I mean,
I'm sorry?
it doesn't swing, so,
Oh, correct.
yeah.
Do you routinely have people out there past 8 o'clock, or?
I've seen them, yes.
Have you?
Yeah, whether it was taking a trip to Choctaw, or going to visit, going to a play or to a sporting event at Denison High School. There, I see lights. whether they were there with a purpose, legal or illegal, they're out there. Not just at Fairview, but we have 5 other cemeteries besides Fairview.
You have walkers out there too? I mean,
Walkers, joggers, people that are halfway dressed. We have all kinds of individuals, walk of life.
TMI.
We don't discriminate.
Okay.
Yes, so that's the update on the fence project.
And I'm sorry, I'm coming into this late since I wasn't here last week. I see from the minutes, clean sweep is 30% done last meeting. We're all done now?
Yes, so right now we're at the moment where I'm reaching out to family members, whether it be emails or phone numbers, and having them come get their stuff.
Let me ask a question off topic a little bit, but the discussion about cutting down trees that were struggling or dead. Does the cemetery replace trees? Are you planting any new trees?
So regarding that, the equipment that we have, first of all, it is by no means designed to take trees down. There was one tree taken down when Chip Egger was here. We got a quote, because the city does have a point of contact that takes trees down. His quote to take that tree down was $1,600. I wanted to help out the budget. So I said, how about they take it down and we haul it out? The contractor was able to divide that price in half. So my staff took the dirt trailer and hauled it to collections. The equipment that we have, it's a backhoe, M80 case, under 25 years old. We have had difficulties with it on repairing it, maintaining it. The Mini X that we have is strictly to dig burials. So if one of them were to malfunction, we would have to resort to a third-party burial service because we couldn't do it. We would be completely dead in the water. So in regards to moving trees, we can try our best to remove few and small ones, but the time and the equipment and the tools that go into it would need as much safe planning for those individual projects throughout any of the 60 acres that we're talking about.
So we pray for lightning to strike the tree, maybe?
Trees, plural, yes, ma'am.
I guess what I would ask is, I do know there's some very dead trees from the last winter that we had that I've seen the city come down and take them because they were safety, because they were over the street or over the right-of-way from sidewalks. Are these dead trees over the roads?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So it's not a safety issue?
No, it's just
A visual?
a visual.
Okay.
It looks.
That would be tough with the current city budget, I would suspect.
I know, but that we go back to that again. I mean, you need new equipment, we need things. I mean, does the cemetery just keep getting at the bottom of the list?
I think we stay at the bottom.
It's one of those things, I was gonna talk with Ms. Parsons here a little later, because I don't understand it. But it seems the cemetery is a revenue generator,
Yes, and we don't.
but the funds come from the general fund rather than a specific line item. So then it comes to talking to council members.
I already did.
You have one on your board here. I will say, yes, we do generate revenue, but we are not a profitable, we're not meant to be a profitable
No, I see
generation.
salaries and Social Security are within the same budget rather than a city budget.
Yes, everything that we're funded, unless it is, of course, through a restricted line item, similarly to how we did the fence, it is funded through our general fund with the city. As far as answering the question on planting trees, it's not something we can do. We do that in other places. We just are trying to be mindful of the impact that it creates in the future once they're bigger. And of course, the care that it needs in order to be sustainable, because they gotta have a lot of water and things of that
Well,
nature,
I think
so.
long-term, one of the nice things about the cemetery is the nice trees that we have.
Absolutely,
And
I
I'd
agree.
hate to think 30 years from now, we have half as many trees out there. I mean, I understand they're a pain in certain ways, a real pain, but
They're probably a pain for him. I love them too.
it
So-
does look nice.
Sounds like a great Eagle project with, working with you on Arbor Day to plant trees where would be
There
best.
would be a pain is because there has never, I've been there, September will be 4 years that I've been with the city. There has never been a burial that a burial ground that I've opened that I have not ran into a root. So when we strike it, we're taking a 50% chance of killing the tree right next to it.
Okay, another question. You know, we raised all this money for the fence. If we raise the money to get down some of the dead trees, what do we have to go through to get that done?
So I was gonna say this a minute ago, but we try to be as resilient as we possibly can with the funding that the city gives us, which is how we were able to do the Pear Lane automation. And so I just want it to be understood that it's not that the city is not giving to the cemetery. It's not that they're on the bottom. Everybody struggles across the board. We have to pick and choose priorities, and I know sometimes those perceptions and aesthetics and things like that sometimes don't match what we need or we have going on. So sometimes we wait until the end of the year to do things like that that would, if it's not a safety concern, it might not hit that top priority. So just for a little bit of understanding as far as how we manage that. As far as donations and things like that go, similarly to how we will operate with the new plaque, is anytime we receive donations, they come in, we just need to make sure that they have a tagline or something associated that stipulates that they are restricted for use at the cemetery. And then that finance will put them in a restricted budget, similarly to how we did the Fairview fence. And then those stay there until they're used, and they draw interest when they sit there that will also stay in that account specific to those. And then when we do something that, like some donation money is specifically restricted for a specific project. Sometimes they're just generic, like maintenance oriented. So depending on those guidelines, we would use them as needed. And if those donations came through the advisory board, we could always come to the advisory board and have those discussions before we utilize them, just so that you have that involvement.
Well, as far as the cemetery board is, cemetery's concerned, I've lived here for over 60 years, and it's only been in the last few years I've paid attention to it. And it seems that if we hadn't gotten the fence going, it might have still been not a fence like we wanted. So, we've got a proactive group here, and we like to get more proactive with the city and everything to, when Brian was talking about all the people out there that are historical to the country, and to our city, that we need to do a little bit more to make it look good, and I know, for instance, like the mowing, I know we've had a lot of rain, but my yard's always mowed. I'll talk to you about the foundation thing after we're through here.
Okay. What I will say for our staff is sometimes perception and operational reality don't jive, and our staff does an amazing job to try and make ends meet, to meet that expectation for the community. The community is absolutely 100% what we care about. So everything that we do has an intention focused on what's needed aesthetically and stewardship oriented. So we will always continue to operate like that.
I guess I just have two things. Number one, we need another history tour in the spring. Yeah, more money. And are we proactive in replacing Sherry here? Are we looking? and-
Yes, we are being very
with enough
proactive.
transition time here? and-
We have had one meeting already to prep, and we have many others being scheduled right now, so, yes.
Anything else?
Just a general question, it's not cemetery related. Is there a process in the city, two things, to search for and find grants?
Yes.
And is there a FY fiscal year fallout? Funds that aren't expended that would be lost if they're not spent in that fiscal year? Something in the military, there was a huge benefit and a huge food fight to get the unexpended funds in what we called fallout dollars.
Not that I'm aware of. There's, can you think of anything, Amanda?
I don't know of the terminology of fallout, so I don't know what
Like,
exactly that means.
use it, like, use it or lose it.
Yes.
If you were
That has
awarded
been-
it.
That has
like-
been appropriated but not expended.
Yeah.
Funds that have been appropriated but not expended.
It depends on where it comes from. So there is,
Wow.
there is like grant match money. Now, if it is a grant that we receive from places, it
Okay,
is
two
specific to
different
that
things,
grant.
two different things.
Yes, but if we have money associated to a grant that the city is putting forward, it depends on where that money is coming from. So like, we have grant match money that we can request from our restricted line items, and those can roll over. So we don't lose them if we don't use them. But if it comes from the jail code, then it goes back into the budget unless they reallocate it, which goes through the budget process.
So I think what I hear you saying is, yes, there is a ability to search for grants.
Yes.
And secondly, what I think I heard you say is, for the general fund, which is where the cemetery receives its money, there is a process to perhaps compete, my word, for unexpended funds.
We would have to put it in a request specific to what it's being used for, but yes, we can request it. It has to go through an approval though, and that would go through the budget
I
process.
got my rubber stamp.
Okay. Give it to her.
Amen.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Good.
I'm ready to adjourn it.
Okay.
Do we have a motion? Do we need a motion? to
Nope,
adjourn?
just hit the hammer.
Okay.